In this heartbreaking tribute video, we bring you the breaking news of today's shocking celebrity losses. Join us as we honor the legacies of these famous celebrities who passed away, paying our respects and celebrating their remarkable contributions to the entertainment industry. It's a somber moment as we reflect on their extraordinary lives and the impact they made. Watch till the end to remember these icons and their everlasting influence.
Roy Kidd. Roy Kidd dies at 91. Roy Kidd, who coached Eastern Kentucky to 2 NCAA Division I football championships in a Hall of Fame career, has died. He was 91. The school announced Kidd's death on Tuesday in a release after being informed by the family. The legendary coach had entered hospice care last week. Kidd won 314 games with the Colonels from 1964 to 2002 and won IA titles in 1979 and 1982. The Corbin, Kentucky, native also led EKU to 16 Ohio Valley Conference titles and achieved 25 consecutive winning campaigns among 37 non-losing seasons. There aren't enough words to express everything that Coach Kidd meant to Eastern Kentucky University and the EKU football program, current EKU coach Walt Wells said in a release. He was and will continue to be a huge influence on me, not just as a coach, but also as a father and a husband. Coach, I'll miss you and I love you. Kidd retired after the 2002 season and was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame the next year. He ranked second all-time in wins when he retired, and EKU's football stadium is named in his honor. Kidd in January received the American Football Coaches Association's Amos Alonzo Stagg Award, which the release stated honors those whose services have been outstanding in the advancement of the best interests of football. He produced 55 All-Americans, 202 first-team All-OVC selections, and 41 of his players signed NFL contracts. Brandon Hunter. Brandon Hunter dies at 42. Brandon Hunter, a professional athlete who spent 2 seasons in the NBA, has died, according to friends. He was 42. Details surrounding his death, including the date and cause, were not immediately confirmed. Jeff Bowles, the head coach of men's basketball at Ohio University, Hunter's alma mater, took to his Instagram story on Tuesday to mourn his loss. "Rip to a Bobcat great," Bowles wrote. "Gone way too soon." Tim O'Shea, a former Ohio coach, shared on Facebook that apparently Hunter had collapsed at the end of a yoga class. O'Shea called Hunter the best player I ever had the good fortune of coaching. After his stint with Ohio, Hunter was selected as the 56th pick by the Boston Celtics in the 2003 NBA draft. Spending 1 season with the Celtics and another with the Orlando Magic, Hunter played 67 games in the league. He then moved on to a prolific career as a journeyman player overseas in places like Greece, Italy, and Israel. T.J. Ford, another NBA alum, also addressed Hunter's death on Tuesday. "We just spoke last week," he tweeted. "Losing a lot of my friends lately. Not all leading Republicans are exactly happy about the decision to press ahead with a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, but the party's unquestioned leader, Donald Trump, certainly is." The New York Times reports on repeated efforts by the former president, privately and publicly, to push for a Biden impeachment. They include weekly telephone calls with Rep. Mike Williams. Mike Williams passes away at 36. Mike Williams, a former wide receiver in the NFL who played from 2010 to 2014 for the Buffalo Bills and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, passed away on Tuesday after sustaining injuries earlier this month while working at a construction site. His agent, Hadley Engelhard, confirmed the news to NFL Network insider Ian Rapoport. William was 36 and participated in 63 games in his 5-year career, the first 4 of which he spent with the Buccaneers before switching to his hometown Bills for his final season. He achieved 223 catches for 3,089 yards and 26 touchdowns throughout his career. He was a native of Buffalo who played collegiate basketball at Syracuse, was selected by the Buccaneers in the 4th round of the 2010 NFL Draft. Williams burst into the spotlight in 2010, coming in second place to then Street. Louis Rams quarterback Sam Bradford in the Associated Press poll for Offensive Rookie of the Year. The wide receiver recorded 65 catches for 964 yards and 11 touchdowns while starting all 16 games that season. In 2012, he produced 9 touchdowns and 996 yards, continuing his strong season. Injuries caused Williams's 2013 season to be cut short, and the Buccaneers eventually traded him to the Bills. He spent his final NFL season with the Bills before spending a brief period of time with the Kansas City Chiefs. Howard Safir. Howard Safir dead at 81. Howard Safir, who presided over declining rates of violent crime as New York City's police commissioner in the late 1990s, but who struck many New Yorkers as tone-deaf to racial sensibilities after the shooting deaths of black men by his officers, died on Monday in Annapolis, MD. He was 81. His son, Adam, said his death, at a hospital, was caused by a sepsis infection. Mr. Safir, who had a home in Annapolis, underwent double bypass heart surgery and was treated for prostate cancer while he was commissioner. Mayor Rudolph W. Giuliani put Mr. Safir in charge of the police department in 1996. The two men had known each other since the early 1980s, when Mr. Safir was a top figure in the United States Marshals Service and Mr. Giuliani was a senior Justice Department official. 2 years earlier, upon becoming mayor, Mr. Giuliani had made his old colleague the fire commissioner. But in April 1996, Mr. Giuliani needed a new police commissioner to replace William J. Bratton, who had resigned after falling out of favor with City Hall, and it was clear that Mr. Safir's primary assignment was to be his predecessor's temperamental opposite. Selena. Selena Quintanilla, her music, image and legacy all still live on today. 28 years ago, Selena was tragically shot and killed on March 31, 1995 in Corpus Christi, Texas by her former fan club manager. In a clip from KSAT's newscast the day after she died on April 1, 1995, Jesse DeGalato visited Selena's recording studio in her hometown, where she was especially loved and missed. One fan in the news clip is seen mourning the loss of Selena outside the Tejano star's childhood home in the Molina neighborhood in Corpus Christi. "We can't believe this happened to Selena. That's why we had to come here to make ourselves believe she is really gone," the fan told DeGalato. Selena may be gone, but she is not forgotten. Her legacy lives on through her music, her makeup line and her famous movie, where Jennifer Lopez plays Selena. She is also immortalized throughout several murals in San Antonio. In 2020, her family had big plans to commemorate the 25th anniversary of her death with a concert at the Alamodome. Unfortunately, it was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. KSAT spoke to some of her family members before the event was supposed to happen. Chris Perez, who was married to Selena when she died, told KSAT that it wasn't until several years after her death that the realization came about how big of an impact she made and is still making on people's lives. George Segal. George Segal dead at 87. George Segal, whose long career began in serious drama but who became one of America's most reliable and familiar comic actors, first in the movies and later on television, died on Tuesday in Santa Rosa, Calif. He was 87. The cause was complications of bypass surgery, according to his wife, Sonia Segal. Sandy-haired, conventionally if imperfectly handsome, with a grin that could be charming or smug and a brow that could knit with sincerity or a lack of it, Mr. Segal walked a line between leading man and supporting actor. To younger people, he was best known for his work in comedy ensembles on primetime network shows, playing the publisher of a fashion magazine on Just Shoot Me, and a frolicsome grandfather on The Goldbergs, a raucous family show set in the 1980s. But decades earlier, when he was a rising young actor, a handful of dramatic roles placed him on the verge of A-list stardom. In 1965, he starred as a conniving American corporal in a Japanese prisoner of war camp in King Rat, a grim survival drama based on a novel by James Clavell. The same year, he played an idealistic painter whose agonizing and probably doomed love affair with a beautiful bourgeois young woman, Elizabeth Ashley, was one of several plotlines in Stanley Kramer's adaptation of Catherine Ann Porter's novel, Ship of Fools, which places a buffet of class and ethnic conflicts aboard a German passenger ship on a transatlantic crossing in the 1930s. Jessica Walter. Jessica Walter dies aged 80. Walter, best known for her Emmy-winning role as Lucille Bluth in Arrested Development, died in her sleep at her New York home. "It is with a heavy heart that I confirm the passing of my beloved mom Jessica," said daughter Brooke Bowman in a statement. A working actor for over 6 decades, her greatest pleasure was bringing joy to others through her storytelling both on screen and off. While her legacy will live on through her body of work, she will also be remembered by many for her wit, class and overall joie de vivre. The actor had won an Emmy in 1975 for the series Amy Prentice and received 3 nominations for her performance as the sarcastic matriarch in the hit comedy show. Walter was also known for her voice work in the animated series Archer, playing Mallory Archer, the former CEO of the International Secret Intelligence Service. Her most notable big screen role was in Clint Eastwood's 1971 thriller play Misty for Me, as a woman scorned, a film many saw as a vital inspiration for Fatal Attraction. Her other big screen turns included John Frankenheimer's Grand Prix and Sidney Lumet's The Group, both released in 1966. "I lost more parts than I've ever had, but you realize quick that you have to be like a terrier with a bone," she said to Elle in 2019. "So I did the circuit. My God, I did the circuit. If it's a good role, I don't care what the medium is, I take it." Betty White. Betty White passed away at age 99. Betty White's cause of death has been revealed. The Golden Girls star, who passed away on December 31st at age 99, died due to a cerebrovascular accident, according to her death certificate obtained by People on Monday. TMZ was the first to report the news. A cerebrovascular accident, commonly known as a stroke, is a loss of blood flow to part of the brain, which damages brain tissue. It is typically caused by blood clots and broken blood vessels in the brain. According to the death certificate, White suffered a stroke 6 days before her death. A source tells People it was a mild stroke. She died peacefully in her sleep. White's longtime agent and friend Jeff Witches also tells People, "Betty passed in her sleep peacefully without pain. To me, this is the most important thing and brings me comfort as her dear friend. Anything else is private to Betty." White's agent and close friend Jeff Witches first confirmed to People in a statement on December 31st that the beloved actress died peacefully in her sleep at her home that morning. "Even though Betty was about to be 100, I thought she would live forever," Witches said. "I will miss her terribly and so will the animal world that she loved so much. I don't think Betty ever feared passing because she always wanted to be with her most beloved husband Alan Ludden. She believed she would be with him again." Anne Marie. Anne Marie dies at 32. In the realm of music, some voices are like a warm embrace, soothing and unforgettable. Anne Marie was one of those voices, a gifted singer-songwriter whose melodies found their way into our hearts. At the tender age of 32, we received the heart-wrenching news of her passing, a victim of a sudden and devastating heart attack. As we grapple with this profound loss, we take a moment to remember the remarkable life and the lasting impact of an artist who left an indelible mark on the world of music. Anne Marie was more than just a singer, she was a storyteller. Her journey from a young girl with a dream to a chart-topping artist was marked by her incredible talent, determination, and a genuine connection with her audience. Her music, often filled with raw emotions and relatable themes, spoke to the hearts of millions around the globe. From her breakout single, Alarm, to her collaborations with renowned artists like Ed Sheeran and Clean Bandit, Anne Marie's voice was a beacon of authenticity in an industry sometimes plagued by artificiality. Her lyrics carried a depth and vulnerability that resonated with fans, making her not just a performer but a friend who understood their experiences and emotions. But it wasn't just her music that endeared her to us, it was her authenticity and her unwavering kindness. Anne Marie's performances were infused with a sense of genuine emotion, making her concerts feel like intimate gatherings of friends. She was more than a pop sensation. She was a confidant, a mentor, and an inspiration to countless individuals around the world. Anne Marie's legacy extended far beyond her musical prowess. She was a symbol of resilience and the embodiment of the power of dreams.